press record and we'll launch into it. Very pleased to meet you. Jai, that Aussie metal guy here with Crannk.com. Really cool to have a chat with you, man. Thanks for making the time, eh?
No problem, my friend. No problem whatsoever.
Okay, and I'll launch into an intro and we'll just crack into it, eh?
Yeah, mate.
No worries. With over 30 years in the industry, UK death metal legends Benediction are back with a crushing new album, Scriptures, which is due out worldwide in about a week or 10 days, just under 10 days, 9 days, wherever you are in the world. October 16th it is, through Nuclear Blast Records. And tonight it is great pleasure that I'm having a chat with Darren Daz Brookes, guitarist for Benediction.
Yeah, mate. Well, it's all good. It's all good. How are you?
Yeah, good, man. How are things going over in the UK, dude?
It's okay, apart from the weather. Same old, you know.
Yeah,
yeah. Good.
I think we've got some of that weather here at the moment.
Pandemic, mate, it's rubbish. It's just typical doom and gloom and rain and cold and same shit, just different day, you know.
Makes for making good death metal albums. This album is absolutely crushing. I have loving it, dude. I have been cranking the absolute hell out of it, man. From the iterations of I to We Are Legion, it kind of steps down hard on your throat and just delivers right through, man. It's absolutely unreal. And you got Dave who stepped back in because Dave Hunt stepped out for his PhD, man. It's a crushing album. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks for that, man. That means a lot. It's good to hear. We're getting the press from all over the world, man. We've obviously done something right here because everybody's raving about it, and that's cool because we're really proud of it. You know, we can't wait. Just can't wait to get on stage and play it, man. Yeah,
and you got Dave who stepped back in as well. What was that like, getting in and making an album back with Dave again? Because he was back in with the early days, kind of after Mark done the first couple of the demo and the split for you guys. Dave kind of come on for a huge period of Benediction, kind of set you guys up, and with some classic albums that he was a part of. So it must be really cool to have him come back and do an album again with him.
Yeah, man, it's perfect. I mean, we didn't end up the best terms, unfortunately, because he kind of left us in the lurch and went to Baltimore and, you know, left us with a death tour to complete. And that's how we got Dave Hunt in last minute to get his tour completed. So we've not really spoken to him for 20 years.
Yeah.
But when Dave decided he couldn't stay for the album and, you know, couldn't commit the time that it needed, he gave us a 6-month window. And I initially just phoned Dave up and just, you know, asked him if he wanted to do the gigs that Dave couldn't complete. I'm saying Dave, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I was... so it was originally just to get him in to do a few gigs that Dave Hunt couldn't do. But within the first conversation, it was clear that, you know, he was chuffed that I'd called him, and he was into more than just doing a couple of gigs. And that first rehearsal when we flew him from Copenhagen, just to see him in the corner of the room was like it was yesterday, man. It was brilliant. It really felt good, and it's good to have him back. He's got a wacky sense of humour, and, you know, he knows how we work, how we sound, how we write, how we act. So it's just a perfect fit, really. It's like he was never gone.
Yeah, and it would have been really cool because you're saying the way the things ended initially with Dave, for him to come back, it would have been great for Benediction, for yourself, and for Dave as well to come back and, you know, kind of live Benediction and kind of fix up where he's kind of left off as well.
Absolutely, he kind of just fell off the cart. You know what I mean? We kind of left him behind, dropped him off, and we just basically pulled up and gone back and picked him back up, and it's dusted him off, and we're all good to go, man. He's just had his second hip operation this weekend, so hopefully the guy can walk, man.
Yeah, well, I feel for him, mate. I was watching that Stormcrow film clip, and he's sitting there on the chair, and I seen a couple of comments, and then I kind of knew he'd had hip problems, and I'm thinking, man, that would be me sitting in that chair as well, kind of while you guys are all doing your thing, especially with hip and back problems. People don't know how hard that is to go as well.
Absolutely, and that was the second video we did in the day as well. We did a video for Iterations of I on the morning, you know, for the crack of dawn in the morning. That comes out the same day as the album, by the way. We've done that, and we've been on that till like 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it was like, right, let's get Stormcrow done. And I mean, obviously Dave was in real pain. The chair was initially just to give him a bit of a break, but I think it really worked. He looked really cool, and obviously he got his pain relief with his bottle of wine. So it was just a day, but it was a good day, that.
He does. He looks really cool, man, and it fits really well with that film clip as well. Can you tell me a little bit about how you approach the songwriting process for scriptures?
Same as we always do. It's always me and Rewy.
Yep.
We just bounce ideas off. I mean, it's changed technically because in the old days we'd go to rehearsal 5 days a week. We'd have a microphone hanging from the ceiling into a mini disc, and then I'd take the mini disc home and try and figure out what the fuck we played. But now it's so different with Cubase. You know, I can write here. You know, I'm really outside of Birmingham, so it's a bit more difficult to write now. So we just pass each other stuff on Cubase, and then I guess the best thing about Benediction is that we're not influenced by anyone. Yeah. You know, we're influenced by Benediction. We're a different band to everybody else. You know, there's a million death metal bands that sound exactly the same, and you wouldn't know the fucking you were listening to. But with Benediction, you kind of know who you're listening to, and it was important that we kept that ethos all the way through. You know, it's the same songwriting process, the same kind of grooves. You know, we don't want to stray. We're not trying to be a different band. We're not trying to break down barriers and reinvent the wheel. We just want to be Benediction. So it's kind of easier, you know. We purposely avoided getting, you know, guitar lessons and being steered in any kind of direction. We've just kind of self-taught. We just kind of wanted to keep it in-house, you know, the way it always was. And that, because we've done that, it's easy to write the material because we're both like-minded. We're both into the same sort of thing, you know, same kind of music, same kind of feel. We kind of write music that we can watch, you know. We visualise it. What the four of us are going to look like on the front of the stage when we write a riff, as opposed to standing there and showing people how many notes you can play on a fretboard in 10 seconds. You know, that doesn't interest us. We're not interested in being the fastest band in the world. There's too many bands trying to compete with each other to be the fastest or the most technical, and it's kind of music. It's a music that's missing out, man. So we're bringing in the old school death metal with a bit of groove, with a bit of feeling, and you know, something you can bang your head to, something that's just going to get you out your seat, shake you back, tie you back down, you know.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about Benediction, is always kept, you know, to that same classic death metal. And you're saying, like, the bang your head. I love this album, dude. My head was banging this whole fucking way through it, dude. It was a classic album. Can you tell me a little bit about recording?
Well, that's cool, mate. Yeah, it means that it worked then. It means our idea worked. That, you know, we wanted to get you the band because there's nothing better, man. You know, it's all right sitting there listening to an album. Like I said, it's super technical, and you know, you can sit there and pick the bits out. I just want to tap my foot and bang my head and just act like a fucking idiot, man. You know?
Yeah, I was so excited, dude, when I seen the Rabid Carnality, and you kind of announced that you had kind of gone in, you had this album coming, dude. And I was super rap, man. I'm a fan of like death metal and all metal, but death metal, I love death metal, dude, and I was so excited to see that you guys had this album coming. I was like, dude, this is really cool. 2020 has had some shit stuff, but the music coming out of 2020 has been absolutely fucking spot on, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of got everybody focused again because, you know, up until now everybody's been really busy. And, you know, you got your touring, you got your jobs, your day jobs, and everything's like, you know, chaotic. But now everything's stopped. You know, people are getting together and reassessing what they want to do. You know, there's the bands that really weren't in for the right reasons. They're kind of breaking up, and the people that really wanted to do it are focusing on what they, you know, on their bands, and it's cool, man. And I've got a proper buzz at the minute. You know, it's like I'm a teenager. You know, I'm a 52-year-old teenager. I've really got a buzz at the minute. I'm just so excited about getting out and playing.
Yeah.
You know, I've got these shackles on. I just want to shake it off, man, and get on stage and do what we do.
Yeah, a lot of people are in that same position, really, like artists like yourself that are really keen to get on stage, but also looked at other ways to reach audiences, you know, and Benediction have reached a whole new wave of death metal kids coming through as well, and they've got this time to check out Benediction too, so that's really, must be a buzz for you as well, seeing this new wave of death metal kids coming through, cranking up to Benediction.
Absolutely, of course it is. Yeah. I mean, it was kind of just before you'd always get the same sort of people at the gigs and the same kind of age group, but there's a new generation into it now. All these old metalers are bringing the kids, and they're coming. I mean, when we first started this up 32 years ago or whatever it was, there's no way we thought we'd still be doing this now. You know, it's kind of we didn't know whether the public or the press were going to react to the vocal style or how it was going to work, whether we were just going to be a demo band and, you know, play little clubs in the back streets of Birmingham. And 32 years later, I'm sitting there talking to a guy on the other side of the world about a new album. It's man, I'm just so super chuffed.
Yeah, and it must be cool when you have dudes come up, or mums or dads or whatever, and they've brought their kids and go, hey, we're rocking out to you guys way back when. Now we've brought our kid along to see the gig.
Yeah, it's fantastic, man. And you can see the look on the kid was the same look that mum and dad had, 25 years ago. It's the same kind of buzz, and it's just so cool. And you get bands that name check you with influences, it's so cool to have been part of this original death metal scene, and to think that we're still doing it now is just wicked, man. Like I say, I'm just desperate on stage, man, and just see people's faces. There's talk about all these bands doing the digital gigs and standing in front of the camera, and that don't appeal to me, man.
No.
I want to see people's faces, and I want to get the energy off the crowd, and the crowd give us the energy back, and that's how it works for us. Like, I can't imagine doing a gig in front of a camera for live streaming. There's just nothing there for me.
No, and it's about getting the support as well. And I was talking to Ivor from Enslaved, and he said the same thing. He is so excited to get back on stage. They'd planned for some smaller gigs where everyone's got to kind of stand in their boxes, and he's having the same issues that these big bands, you guys are having, the smaller bands, but they're all really keen to get on stage. And he was saying, look, I'm keen for people. I don't care if they've got to stand in their little boxes and play. I just want to feel that energy of the crowd, the vibe, the singing along, the rocking out to it.
Yeah, we've just booked some gigs in Germany at the end of November.
Yeah, cool.
And the promoters got in contact with us, and said, we can hire these big halls and churches and stuff that you can play in there, but there's no money, because of the overheads and the fact that it's a 100 venue, but you can only get 300 people in, so there's no money. Do you want to do it? I'm like, fuck yeah, man, absolutely, get us over. So we got these 4 or 5 gigs at the end of November, and I am super excited about doing them. It's going to be like playing a social club with tables like bingo or whatever else. But I don't give a shit, man. I just want to obviously on stage and see people's faces and stick the backdrop up and get the drum set up and just play it, man. I'm just desperate.
Yeah, and as I was saying, the rabid carnality is kind of a little ode there to you guys playing on stage live, as well as watching that and thinking, man, that would be really cool to actually get you guys over here in Australia as well next year. Have you had any thoughts? I suppose it's fucking tricky, though, to book anything international at this stage.
Do you know what? No, but Australia is top of the list, man. We want to get down there, but in 31 years, it's one of them countries that's just eluded us for whatever reason. And I don't understand it. I don't get it. But, the first opportunity we get to come down there, I swear to you, I'm telling you, I'll get in my dinghy and I'll freaking paddle all the way down there, man.
I'll meet you halfway. I'll paddle the rest of the way, mate.
Okay, I'll bring some tinnies in.
We'll bring some tinnies and we'll have a few drinks on the way. What was recording and production like for Scriptures?
It was cool, man. It was super tough though. Scott was extra tough on us. We had a meeting with him originally and said, listen, we don't want it too polished. We don't want it too machine sounding. We don't want it too perfect. We just, we're a live band. We want it a little bit raw. But he insisted that everything was bang on tight. He would get us to do the same section again and again and again and again, to the point that I just wanted to get my hands around his neck and throttle him. But he just kept pushing us and kept pushing us, saying, you've got to get it right. At the end of the day, our name's on the front of the album, his name's on the back of the album, so it's as important for him to get it right as it is for us. But he would, for instance, he would get me to change my plectrum halfway through a song and say, use a thicker plectrum on this bit. I'm not, are you having a fucking laugh, man? It's a plectrum. He's like, no, just trust me, just try it. And he would try it, and God damn, he was right, man. But he pushed it really hard, but he's got exactly what we wanted. We wanted clarity, but we didn't want it too polished. We're not a wall of noise. We're not the band that just makes a load of noise and then stops at the same time, which is pretty cool. We want people to hear us, hear what we're playing, because it's important to us that we've got a groove and that the picking's important. And Scott absolutely nailed that, man. He got it 100%, and there's no doubt we'll use him again, no doubt whatsoever.
Yeah, the album does sound super good, and I can't recommend it enough, man. Benediction fans, old and new, are going to really love this album, that's for sure. I really dug that Progenitors of a New Paradigm track as well. That was really cool. For some reason, it just kept ringing in my head, the hooks in that one, man.
Yeah, that's one of the ones we've had knocking around for years, man. Well, not the whole song, but sections of that for years. I just remember playing it in my studio upstairs and thinking, right, I'm going to do something with that riff, and it just fell together. But that's possibly one of my favourites off the album at the minute. But you know what, my favourites change every day. 1 minute Stormcrow, the next minute's Progenitors, the next day's Legion. I'm embracing the day after. It's just weird, but I guess that's the side that I'm happy with the whole album. You know, the fact that I can watch a different tune every day. But I don't think there's a weak one on the album.
No.
So I'm dead chuffed, man.
Yeah, it is, and I hesitate. I don't like to ask this much anymore too, because when you listen to a good album, like I'm going to use this album, Scriptures, for example, like, and you listen to the whole album, I'm the same. I'll have tracks like at the moment, I'm really digging that Progenitors for New Paradigm, but Stormcrow the other day was like, yeah, dude, this is it for me. And then, you know, the Iterations of I, it's just, there's so many different tracks you can just sit there and go, dude, this is my favourite. I love this one. Then I go to another one. It's a really good album. You've done such a cool job on it. So can I ask?
Oh, man. Well, it's like we like a bit of variety. You know, we don't want it all the same speed. You know, we want a bit of variety, and that's within the album and within each track. You know, we like to speed it up, down, and you know, in your face, and then chill you out, and then knock you over again. It's cool. I think we've nailed it with this one, to be fair.
Yeah, and the cover, dude, is absolutely sweet as well. Like, it's killer cover, dude. Who's doing that one for you? What was that one?
Yeah, well...
Simon Harris, wasn't it?
Yeah, when we went to meet with the artist, Simon Harris, he played bass for us on the 1992 tour with Ultra, and not a lot of people know that. But I met him in a pub, and I said, are you still playing bass? And he's like, no, I'm doing artwork now. So I kind of flippantly said to him, well, if you got any artwork, send it through, and, you know, we'll have a look at it, maybe we can get you on a T-shirt or something. And he sent his portfolio through, and me and Rewy were like gobsmacked, so... When he came to time for the album, we went round and saw him and said, you know, we want the old school logo back, you know, the yellow and red logo. We said, we want a nun in there somewhere because on the logo, you know, it looks good on a T-shirt. And I think this was only his second or third effort, and he's proper nailed it, man. You know, I mean, it's going to look so cool on a T-shirt. I love it, man. But he's got everything, even with the nun holding the scriptures with the lyrics in the book and the old logo, and I think he's absolutely nailed it, man.
He has absolutely nailed it, and it's pretty cool knowing that he was like played with us at one time too. So that's really good, having that connection to Benediction as well.
Yeah, man. All old school. Everything's old school about this album. It's wicked. I love it.
It's good. Everyone needs to get this one. Crank It Loud, October 16th. Darren Daz Brookes, this has been an absolute pleasure for a metalhead like me, man. Thank you very much, man. I'm going to sign out, let you get about what you got to do. But any last words or shout-outs quickly before we sign out?
I just want to thank the people that have stayed with us for the last 30 years. You know, it means everything to us because without those people, we don't exist. And I just want to welcome any new fans to the party and just say, you know, where the fuck have you been, man?
Thank you so much, Darren. Have a lovely night, mate. I'll catch you about Daz. Hopefully over here in Australia next year, mate.
Mate, that'd be perfect. And listen, you come over and introduce yourself. We'll have a beer or 10.
Yeah, crack a few tinnies. See you later, bro.
Yeah,